Hello everyone, welcome to the first session of Figma Advanced tutorial. In this session, we're going to learn about the frame tool and check its features. To select the frame tool, it is enough to select it from the toolbar from this section. Or you can quickly access this tool by pressing the F key on the keyboard. By choosing the frame tool, as you can see, in the design section, we can access the presets or pre-made frames of Figma software. These frames are placed here with different categories. As you can see, here we have phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media, Figma community, and archive categories. For example, from the phone category, you can access pre-made frames for iPhone 14, iPhone 13, as well as iPhone 8 and other presets. These frames are the standard dimensions of the screens that the Figma software has provided us by default so that we can quickly complete our projects. You can also use other categories. For example, if you want to design your project for standard tablet dimensions, you can access Surface Pro and iPad Pro frames and other presets from this section. You can use these frames for other parts such as desktop, presentation, and watch. And the interesting point in Figma software is that you can even choose pre-made frames for social media, for example, for Twitter or X, as well as Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, and make an attractive design for social media. So we can access the main frames made according to our needs from this part. Also, you can draw a frame with desired dimensions by clicking and dragging in the canvas environment. As you can see, by drawing this frame in the Layers section, a layer called Frame 1 is created, which is actually the name of our frame. And in this section, you can see the name of the frame. And the specifications of this frame are displayed in the design panel. How can we change the name of the frames? There are two ways to rename frames. The first method is to double-click on this name to change to edit mode and enter your desired name. For example, I write frame. As you can see in the Layers section, the name of the frame layer is also changed accordingly. You can also change the name of the frame from the Layers section. To do this, it is enough to click on the desired layer and select the rename item, or you can use the Ctrl and R keys to speed up the work. Well, if I click on this item, the name of the layer will be changed to edit mode in this area, and I can enter a desired name. For example, I will write design. As you can see, in addition to the layer, the name of the frame is also changed to design. Another point is that we can move the frames within the canvas like this. And from the design section, you can access the frame settings. Here, you can specify whether your frame is portrait mode or landscape mode. Landscape mode is selected here by default because the ratio of width and height is higher, and if I increase the width in this way, you can see the changes better. If I choose the portrait mode, the orientation mode of the frame will be changed in this way. Okay, another setting we have here is the coordinates. You can see the coordinates of the frame in the x-axis and y-axis. And from this section, you can change the values of x and y. From the width and height section, you can change the width and height of the frames. For example, I change the width value to 500 and the height value to 1000 so that the dimensions of the frame will change according to the values I entered. We can also have the rotation mode from here, that is, by entering the desired value or by clicking in this area and dragging to the right or left, you can rotate the frame clockwise or counterclockwise. You can also change the value of corner radius or frame corners from this section. Well, if I increase the value of this part, as you can see, the corners of this frame will be rounded in this way. And I can manage each corner separately by selecting this item. For example, I want these two upper corners to be 90 degrees and these two lower corners to be rounded. For this, all I have to do is to change the values of this corner and this corner to 0 to have something like this. Very well, I changed the corner radius value to 0 so that all corners are changed to 90 degrees. Here we have an item called content clip. If you activate it, every element that goes out of the frame and is placed in the canvas will be masked. For example, if I draw a rectangle here using the rectangle tool, as you can see, a part of this rectangle protrudes from our frame and is located in the canvas. Because the clip content option is active, any content that is outside the frame is clipped or masked. If I remove this option, you will see that the area that is outside the frame is also displayed. Let's go to the next item in the design panel, which is the fill section. When you select the frame, you can see the color of the frame as well as the opacity level in the fill section. In addition to these two items, here we have the eye icon, and if I click on it, it temporarily disables the fill, and if I activate it, it displays the fill. And by clicking on the minus sign, you can remove the color of the frame, as you can see. We can access the colors section by clicking on this range and choose the desired color from this section. You can also change the range of colors using the color sliders placed here. For example, if I move this point and place it in this area, the blue color range will be displayed and I can change the color of the frame to this color. Also, you can increase or decrease the opacity using this slider and you can see its value here. For example, if I reduce the value, as you can see, it displays the opacity in percentage for me in this section. From here, you can also use different color codes to choose colors using different modes of Hexa, RGB, CSS, HSL, and HSB. Okay, I choose the white color and I close this box. The point is that we can use as many frames as needed to complete projects in the Figma environment. I go back to the frame tool, and from the presets section and in the desktop, I choose the MacBook A frame. Well, a new frame is created here. I go to the presets again and choose iPhone 14 from here. As you can see, I can create different frames in the canvas environment. I can move the frames like this. I can also select all the frames, and from the alignment section using the align items here, I can align the frames with each other. For example, by selecting the align top option, all the frames are aligned from the top. And by selecting the distribute horizontal spacing option, I can equalize the distance between the frames. Well, these were some points related to the frames in the Figma software, and you will deal with this tool more in the future sessions.